pledge of allegiance.
No, I must not have.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, fellow selectmen, you guys look over the minutes and everything look okay?
Yes, it did.
Okay, Bob? Minutes, so you weren't here, that's right, there was just two of us, that's
Previous
right.
meeting,
But-
you approved the minutes.
We had a nice picture of
Was
you.
that?
We had a nice picture of you in the newspaper though while you were gone.
All of us, we looked really
Good thing I was
good.
gone.
Thanks,
But
Damon.
Anyway.
You nailed the shot with him talking with his hands.
With this,
Totally
you
good.
caught the Italian thing. Anyway, do you want to make a motion?
Yes, I will make a motion to accept the minutes from the April 25th
All
Selectmen's
right,
meeting.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. Okay, so. There.
There you go, sir.
You go, Mr. Thompson.
Should I not?
Yeah, you just, you
Oh,
don't.
that's right, jeez, I forget. I'm always used to having that. Okay, all right, here we go. Department liaisons, okay? So, has everybody like sort of made a choice? I mean, we have, I know that, Bob has got 5 choices. I made a few that lap over his, and I'm sure you have some. So how do we want to handle this? I'm not exactly sure. For instance, I'll just say, for instance, the highway department.
Mhm.
I've been working with Gary,
Mhm.
just recently, so I'd like to stay on that.
Mhm.
Is that,
Fine for me.
all right?
Well, two
But-
things. Number one, I'm a little man on the totem pole. Number two, I have no idea who's doing what.
What,
right
okay,
now.
all
Gotcha.
right, all right, all
I
right.
just sent that out on
Okay.
the lark to Julie earlier,
Right.
and at the bottom of the email, I
Mhm.
said, I'm flexible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I would like to remain with the ambulance because
Okay.
I've gotten some good traction on
Yeah,
working
you
with
have.
them. And
Okay. Yeah.
so,
I'm gonna write you
and
down there.
I've been with the fire, but Bob, if you want to jump on that one.
You mentioned
to get
that.
a little bit of history and back up to speed, I should say.
Yeah,
Because you've got history, but just back up to speed with Jay.
where else, we're just staying with a few. You have the,
Oh, okay.
Barb Evans, what else along in there?
I had the
Financial
financial
administration.
administration,
Okay. Yeah,
and I had fire and ambulance and police.
right, so ambulance, where are you there? Yeah, we'll get you there. Police, okay. Barb. So that's 3. Financial administration, police, ambulance.
Mhm. I can't see under here, what else is on there? I can do emergency management. What else did
Public
Bob-
welfare, did you do?
I think I did, actually.
Yeah, I think I kind of remember
I
that.
did.
Okay, and that's 4.
And I'll do the library as well.
Okay.
That's good.
All right. All right,
Perfect.
so, again, because with Bob, because he said he's not exactly sure, I'm gonna stay with my highway, okay? And also, I've been working with Pam a lot in the Conservation Commission, Bob, because I know you, just sort of tentatively put that down there, so I'd like to continue to work with that. Planning board, looks like I'll be doing that, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna be the
I
guy.
appreciate that.
For the sake of tradition, I'm doing that. Okay.
It's only
I
11
only had-
11
I
more
was just gonna
meetings
say,
this year.
you're doing the counting. Okay, I was doing the same thing. I was gonna say that. Only 11 more this year. All right, that's funny. I don't know. Emergency management, I guess I'll put my name in that one,
Okay.
because I've been sort of working with that and Emily. So we'll put that there. Okay, Bob. Solid waste disposal. Is that something that, a lot going on there, actually. That maybe you'd
I'm in.
sink your teeth in there, right? Okay.
Ew.
That's gross.
I want to sink my
Okay, we
teeth
got-
into the solid
All right,
waste
all right, Bob.
disposal. But
How about clean recyclable tin cans? Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna put you, Bob, on fire, okay? All All right, so I mean, it's 5 each. Barb's got her 5, I've got 4.
Town
I
clerk.
do town clerk. You want to, I'm gonna give you town clerk. It's a good one. Get your feet wet. Town clerk,
What's that?
zoning board. What's a zoning board? You know. Building inspection. Why don't you go in there with Kevin, okay, Bob?
Okay,
And I think we could just kind of,
stay with building,
yeah.
fire.
Assessing, I don't know when we've ever had anybody for assessing zoning board. I'm not,
Sometimes you do it all three, you can
Yeah.
put all 3 of you down.
Yeah,
yeah.
because that
I
doesn't
didn't
come up that
remember
often. Yeah,
Zoning
Okay,
the zoning.
doesn't necessarily meet all
Yeah.
that often.
so what, can I just put like an all? I'll put an all or something, just so
Yeah.
we can,
Mhm.
right? Just to fill up this list here. And assessing the same. But I do like to say though, that it doesn't mean that, you know, because say Barbara is doing public welfare, that somebody else might not slide in there or something might happen. We could talk to anybody at any time, everybody, all the employees, so.
Right.
But I think we've got a pretty complete list here, all right? So
Sounds
this is
good.
what we could do.
All right.
All right, okay.
Which one did you have as all, assessing and zoning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna
It's
get
on
that
there.
in too, make sure I have it. Public welfare, library, ambulance, police.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
so now, the designated selectman's rep to the planning board. You have one last chance, Bob. Would you like to do that instead of me for the planning board?
Yeah, it conflicts with their typical meeting, and that's why I pulled away from
Okay.
considering
All right.
that.
Thank
All
you.
right, so, and you have conflicts on
Planning board?
every Tuesday on Thursday nights, right?
Yeah.
Every Thursday.
Yeah, my husband goes to the meeting.
There you
That's
go.
the
Yeah,
conflict.
he's there. Okay. Okay, so I guess we have to do this. You guys gotta make a motion.
I will
to-
make a motion to nominate you to represent the select board on the planning board.
Second,
All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
And it's gonna be interesting this year
Oh, yeah.
at least.
Yeah, it will be.
'Cause
No, I mean, they're all good people. I've known all those folks a long time
Yeah.
too, so it'll be fine.
Doing the capital improvement plan, so.
Otherwise, it's gotta be at 7 o'clock at night, especially in the winter.
Yeah.
You wanna sign that?
Yes. There you go.
Thanks, Bob.
Julie, I have a question. Why is that one the only one we have to make a motion and appoint?
Well,
Because they're a member of the board?
there is supposed to be a selectman representative.
Okay. So on the other ones, there are just liaisons, but there aren't necessarily boards or.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, because you would be considered a full member of the planning board, a voting member by that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, next up is the scrap metal agreement we have
Roger Leahy.
with Roger Labby. This is an annual thing that happens all the time. Every year, we, boards of selectmen of the town of Bartlett and Jackson, do hereby agree to allow Roger Labby to purchase the amount of $1,500 of scrap metal that is deposited at the Bartlett Jackson transfer site for a period of 1 year, starting from June 1st, 2023, and ending May 31st, 2024. I don't think I need to read all of this.
No.
Okay, so, does someone make a motion to accept this scrap metal agreement?
The scrap metal agreement.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we need to sign that. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Trustee of trust funds funding and withdrawals. Okay, we have Jackson Selectmen want to authorize a transfer of $75,000 to be deposited into the capital reserve funds and expendable trust funds per the warrant articles listed below. Transfer site, ETF 0028, Article 5, $5,000. State aid reconstruction, ETF 0058, Article 5, $5,000. Bridge repair, ETF 0034, Article 5, 15,000. Fire department ETF new 6, Article 6, 50,000, for a total of $75,000.
I'll
Any,
make a motion to accept and approve those disbursements.
right. What do I have? I have two of these.
No,
One's a funding, one's a withdrawal.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
All right. All those, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Here we go. All right, and then this is the withdrawal part of the trust funds here. They're requesting the following withdrawals. I went for the $20,900 from the Fire Department Equipment Expendable Trust Fund, 0046. Invoice number 212700, dated 4/13/2023, Fire Tech and Safety of New England. Apparently that's where the equipment's coming from. Then $2,596.35 from the Police Department Expendable Trust Fund, 0051, invoice INUS 152616, dated 4/19/23, from Axon Enterprise. And also $1,780.27 from the Fire Department Maintenance Expendable Trust Fund, a new invoice 815965, dated 3/30/23, White Mountain Lumber.
Can you tell me what the first two are for then?
Okay, the
Or-
Fire Department.
20,900.
Right.
I think that's the air tax.
The
Is
air
that-
packs,
Is that
that's
the
right.
airbags? Okay.
Okay, and then that's tasers and
Yep,
other,
BD equipment,
BD
tasers,
tasers,
yeah, okay.
all right.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we accept all these withdrawals.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and we have a planning board resignation. Huntley Allen, we'd like to extend our sincere gratitude for all the years that Huntley has put in. I've known Huntley a long, long time. He was a great member there, and he was a great town servant, so with sadness, we will accept this resignation. Anybody want to make a motion on this?
So moved.
Okay. All those-
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Huntley.
And also, he's remaining on the plan, on the ZBA,
Oh, good.
so,
Okay, good, so he's still around.
yeah.
Okay. Right, good.
Still serving. All you good?
All right. So, you go here.
I can
Okay.
talk about this one if you want.
Yeah.
When we had an ambulance meeting with the Bartlett Select Board and our Select Board, it was discussed about ordering a new ambulance. And since that didn't get approved on a warrant article, we agreed that if, and Rick Murdock had looked into it with the ambulance company, that if he could order the ambulance without a financial commitment, he would do so, and that way we could at least get the ball rolling on it. So this is a letter authorizing the Bartlett Jackson Ambulance Committee to order the ambulance, making sure that it doesn't financially commit us until a warrant article is passed. So we had the legal team, our attorney, look at that and reword a few things, and Bartlett is submitting the same letter so that they can go ahead and order the ambulance and get it started.
Do you recall what the bottom line was on that?
It was around 250,000,
Right,
right?
and we put some
Yeah,
money away
and-
already toward it.
I'm sorry, I'm addressing Rob
I'm sorry.
Reiner.
Oh,
No, my
Rob
bad.
Reiner.
Rob
Oh,
Reiner
sorry, I
is
didn't see you
is
there.
in the audience here, and I didn't even, I'm
I
just
didn't see
looking
you.
at him. So, it was around 250.
Somewhere around
Is
there.
that okay? All right,
Yeah, and so ours would be half of that cost.
right. And when do you think this is gonna happen, Rob?
They're anywhere 2 to 3 years out
Okay.
when you order, just as they get parts in, that kind of thing, so it's a little variable,
Okay.
but
This will at least put us on the list for one. And like they've said, yeah, if you don't take it and don't get
Right.
it approved, somebody will take it.
Okay,
So
so you wanna make a motion?
I will make a motion to approve the letter authorizing them to order the ambulance.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
and just so you don't know, moving forward, I'm gonna be really careful about what I jump into and
Oh,
what
sure.
I recuse myself from when it comes to the Bartlett Jackson ambulance service, because I'm an EMT now, pulling shifts, and so.
Okay. Okay.
That's
Hoping to make the
awesome.
active member requirement.
Yay.
But I don't wanna,
Fantastic.
create the impression that there's any bias or favoritism when it comes to anything to do with the Bartlett Jackson ambulance
Well,
service.
great, that's awesome though.
Okay.
Congratulations.
I'm just, thank you, yeah.
And then
Just
Rob,
did
you
that
can
wrong.
grab a copy of that from Julie after the meeting. Thanks.
We just added one little thing in here. There's a tapestry of, or a historical curtain or something that's in the town hall, and the old town hall. Forgive me for saying old, the only one we really have. But anyway, apparently there's some monies available maybe to be able to restore it and to hang it somewhere. And the Historical Society is leading that effort. And so we just have to make a motion to allow them to seek out this grant to get the money to be able to do all of this. So, anybody like to, yeah, go ahead.
Well, that's my question, and I'll make the motion
Okay.
first, that we support the
Okay.
And I'll
Historical
second.
Society's efforts, but what I wasn't clear from when I read Ed's email about the grant, at first I'm like, oh, the curtain's probably up there hanging and
It
did
is.
some work. Well, it's not hanging, but, so there's no curtain on the stage? I mean, I haven't been in there in a while.
Yeah.
And they don't wanna like put it on either side of the stage. They
Right.
wanna find another home for it somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay.
We
And
had,
Jerry
Doherty had originally brought it up because he wanted to put it in the Whitney Center and it just didn't fit, didn't
didn't
work
want
in
it.
that
I
area.
can understand.
So that
Okay.
opened up the conversation about restoring it and finding a better place where it can
Mhm.
hang and so
Well, a
let's
grant
take
to
the
help
grants
with
out.
restoration makes all the sense in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I understand a little bit better.
Yep.
Thank you.
all right, so we both made a motion, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're good, all right. Yeah, that'd be cool to see that, but I didn't think it would be such a bad thing, putting it in a place where a lot of people would see it, which is
Yeah,
at the
just-
Whitney Center,
And
but
it didn't
it just
fit.
didn't fly, so that's the way that goes. Okay, now this is about this Carroll County Communications District that we all voted for, and all the different, every town in the valley did, working on trying to get, the fastest internet possible, and all of that, okay? I'm signed up for it as a regular member, but we need an alternate.
Mhm.
And so I'll just say it out there, it's television land, we need an alternate. All right, if there's no one around here seems to want to do it, so. Unless, of course, is that something that you might be interested in? Let me just preface it by saying, I'm not exactly sure what we're gonna be doing, okay?
Yeah.
But it'll be a lot of discussion, telephone, sometimes Zoom, maybe sometimes down in Ossipee. And it doesn't cost us anything,
Mhm.
but it's the whole idea is all these towns getting together, there's more power in numbers to be able to get better internet service
Yeah,
everywhere.
and I remember discussions along that line.
Oh, yeah, it's been around.
When I was on earlier, and so that was my first question, was like, what does being an alternate entail? And especially, I want to be sensitive that I'm not gonna commit to something I can't follow through with. Being as my office is in Littleton, and sometimes they meet in Ossipee,
Yeah.
I could just say, if we ever needed someone to go because you couldn't go, if I was available, I would do it, but I don't know if seeking somebody other than a selectman, is that what
And
they're
I
looking
think
for?
anyone really would be,
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
they specify it has to be a selectman, that's why I asked out there.
yeah,
If somebody, but it's good to know that if for some reason I can't get there, that if nobody else comes forward, if I can connect with you and you'd say, okay, go,
yeah,
all right? But as I said, we haven't really had a meeting, so I don't know what to expect,
yeah.
Right.
kind of.
Well, typically, my, calendar's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
in front of me.
You're out working
This is
then.
about what it looks like on a typical.
Oh, geez.
So, if I can make it, I will.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so All right, short-term rentals, applications for approval.
Do you have any?
I don't think we don't have any, okay? Now, we do have some, short-term rentals applications for approval, let's see, pending, okay? We, have been in connection with, owner Harvey on 7 Balsam Drive. And we have sent the information that he was looking for, going back and forth to our town council.
Right,
So that is being reviewed by town council at the
right.
moment.
He
So
responded back to the violation notice
Mm.
from his attorney, so now it's at council with our
Right.
attorney.
So we're just waiting on that. Another one, Malloy on 31 Hurd Road. They have until May 14th to respond. Exactly, Julie, what's the response on this? This is
30 days for that
30,
violation
okay,
notice,
it was a
yes.
30-day.
30 day, yep.
Okay, all right. And then owner Burr on 398 Black Mountain Road, proved as a 3-bedroom conditionally, but verified it is a 4-bedroom. So I'm going to make a motion to approve the Burr House, the STR, as a 4-bedroom. So I'll make that motion that we approve that based on the information that we now have, verified information. So it is a 4-bedroom. Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, so, approved building permits. We have, lot number, what do we get? V09 lot 05-1, Hoyt, on 118 Switchback Road, to renew a permit for garage and breezeway. Gardner on lot R17 lot 20B, 76 Chesley Farm Road. Roof-mounted solar array, 490 kilowatts. There'll be 15 of them up there, okay? And the Christmas Farm Inn, lot 23, 3 Blitzen Way, replace emergency generator. And Conley, lot 16212 Abbott Way, new deck, windows, kitchen, and counters. These are all
And
building
appliances.
and appliances. And appliances, that's right, in the back right here. There we go. And then we have Doucette, R14, lot 3, 46 New Hampshire, Route 16, install a mini splits. Someone want to tell me why this mini splits is not,
A mini split is that unit right up on the wall there that either heats or air conditions a room without having to have ductwork.
it's small and it splits heating
Yeah.
and cooling.
And
A
it's
mini
awesome.
split.
They're so
Oh, yeah.
efficient.
That's a heat pump too, isn't it?
Yes,
Yeah.
we just
Yeah.
put one in our
On the
addition.
outside.
Yeah,
Terrific. Yeah.
they're fantastic.
And
they're
a
so
suitcase, lot 34-12, 18-2 Checkerberry Lane, a window replacement, and Olson, on 32U2 Meadow Lane, another window replacement. All right, so
Okay.
Kevin's been busy, not as
Kevin's
busy as
not
he's
here,
been, he's
does
not here
it?
today.
The fact that he's not here means he's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, okay. All right, I can get into upcoming meetings. Tuesday, May 23rd at 3:30. Tuesday, June 13th at 3:30. And Tuesday, June 27th at 3:30.
I'll be there.
I'll be there, hopefully we'll all be there.
Sounds fun. I would like to, just because it's the only time we can really have discussions when we're in our
Public discussion.
three-person meeting. One of the things I want to make sure that I'm getting up to speed on is our efforts at improving the fire and rescue facility. And so, one of the things I made sure I did the last time I left the board was forget as much as I possibly could about this job. So now I need to get up to speed.
Right.
And I talked to Jay, and I kind of felt like it was kind of at his suggestion, maybe, you know, talk to as many people on the committee as possible. But as far as talking with you two, I'd like to see if you both would be interested in putting that on the agenda on the 23rd, and just whether it's a recap for me or sharing whatever your thoughts or concerns are about that. I think if there's one thing that I felt the previous board was united on, was that something needs to happen to improve that facility.
Agreed.
So, I think it would behoove us to really put that more on the front burner.
Yep.
If there's something that we foresee that would be ending up on the March annual meeting agenda and in the form of a warrant article, I think really now is the time to have that dialogue.
And I think based on the fact that we have the capital improvement plan is really going to narrow that down, because we have Frank, who strongly feels that we should renovate the building and improve it because of the lack of ADA compliance and sprinkler systems and all kinds of safety issues. And then I'm of the point that we shouldn't spend more money on that building, but we should build something new and improved. The problem we have been facing is location, number one, because you either build it there or there is another location that was considered, which is over on this side, but it backs up against the river and it's a little iffy. The other thing was when we did come to the table 2 years ago now, or 2-ish years, it was during COVID when all prices were high, and it was for the current site, and the excavation boosted up the price substantially as well as building costs, so it was like $5.7 million, and it was just not good timing. It was sort of ridiculous. It was sticker shock for everyone. So that's where we kind of left it at that, and then we just decided to do the facility survey, etc., knowing that the real goal wasn't to say we need a new fire station or not, but what do we need in town for the different facilities. And so the planning board now is looking at the fire station, Gray's Inn Garage, to see what's feasible there. Also considering the ambulance, because even though they're not housed in Jackson, what are their needs as it relates to the town of Jackson? Fire department downstairs, all of the facilities, including the school and that infrastructure too.
Right.
So I think that's really a good start for where we're going. David, my husband David, is going to be the liaison for the planning board doing the fire station, so he might be able to enlighten you with Jay as well. And I can definitely provide from the committee some of the drawings and the presentation that we came up with for that $5.7 million beautiful building. But and then the other side of it is if we do another renovation, maybe that ends up on the warrant for X number of dollars, whether it be $750,000 or $1 million or whatever, to renovate the current station. So that's a high level where we were last time.
And the important part of what you just said too is that the planning board is now going to be taking up all of what we might need for the entire town. Having a sort of holistic view, which is something that I've been calling for from the beginning, okay? And when 5.7 million came out and said, that's just far too much money for one facility. We have to spread that money out if we're going to use that amount of money. But at any rate, now the planning board is charged basically to look at everything and come up with a discussion. So just keep in mind that we'll have, I think there's one planning board meeting before this, May 23rd. So I'll be able to report a little bit about what that conversation was about. But I think it was a good idea to have it out there and put it out on the table as to where we're going with this thing. Because there's definitely a difference of opinion in some unknowns. So we're moving forward. The facilities committee did their thing. Now the planning board is going to be doing its thing. And I think we'll have a lot more knowledge, and maybe we'll be ready to do something by the time we get to town meeting next year.
Yeah.
And have an article
I
on the
hope
warrant.
we are too,
Yeah,
because
me too.
like you said, we promised ourselves not to lose traction of this because of the need.
Right.
And that department has the highest value of equipment that we house in an older building. So, it's definitely top of mind whenever we decide.
Too. And I know that from the time you both have been spending on this, it doesn't surprise me that there's been an arrival at a conclusion for each of you. I'm not at that place because I don't know enough and I'm just trying to learn. So that would be good. Maybe we could invite, Jay, or if it's on the agenda, anybody who has an interest in coming in and speaking or providing a comment or whatever would be helpful.
And excuse me, just as a reminder, Bob, that, that there was a committee, that they studied all this when they told us it was 5.7 million, and 2 members, the fire chief and another person, voted against it, okay? Because I think they thought it was too much money, or maybe they didn't know enough.
Yeah.
So that was kudos to Jay for backing away from that, because he was not sure where we're at. But I think now, after the facilities committee and what the planning board does, and having gone through this discussion now for 2 years, that I think we'll have a pretty good plan. I think it'll work out,
Presentation,
you
yeah.
know, in a
I
presentation,
haven't
exactly.
finished yet. But I would like to have it on the agenda for you, for sure,
Yeah.
to have Jake put it on
Okay,
there. Is
great.
that
It'll be fine.
noted?
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for
Let
bringing
me,
that up.
all right. So, after public comment, should I ask for, so we could just close this meeting down?
We need a
Yes.
motion.
I can make a motion. I'll make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Without public comments?
Well, yours was a public comment, but I wasn't sure, but we can ask, I want to make sure that I'm, do you have a question?
Well,
You want to come through? Well, go ahead, what? What do you say?
doesn't anyone have the right to?
I would hope so.
And make a comment?
Yeah, I would hope so. It doesn't happen very
So-
often. This is rare for
I'd
us.
like to see that
So-
happen before we adjourn.
Okay, and we'll do that, all right? I didn't know if he was going to ask us a question.
Yeah, I had a couple. So when you were going over the pending issues with SDRs, did you say there was one with a 30-day violation, or 30 rental violation?
No, they have 30 days to respond to their violation notice, and that
Okay.
30 days isn't up yet, so we haven't heard from them yet. It was a violation that was sent 26 days, 25 days ago or whatever.
Okay, all right. Last time, we heard something from, I think the guy's name is Kevin?
Kevin Bennett, our
Kevin
building
Bennett's the building
inspector.
You mentioned something about testing on Balloon Road. Did you guys ever figure out what was going on there? Is it some sort of chemical or something, or I don't know?
I haven't had any updates, but there's always been ongoing wells that are monitoring the situation up there. It's been going since the Maloon fire pit landfill was closed a million years ago. But we haven't heard any more update from, at least I haven't. Is anybody here on the board?
No.
No, we haven't as of yet.
So we don't know if that's something that's concerning or not, or anything.
We don't know exactly where it's going, other than we continue to monitor as we always have.
Okay. Yeah, another question. And, we just got the Kudrick decision,
Mhm.
and that kind of informs the state on what the top judges in New Hampshire are thinking about short-term rentals. Did that at all make you guys look at the ordinance and see if there's anything that might not stand up to judicial scrutiny?
Well, I had one reaction viscerally right off and saying that our planning board in Jackson government did a damn good job of putting together an STR ordinance, notwithstanding the bit of a problem we may have, we'll see, with the limited 30, in keeping track of that. But the rest of the ordinance, I think, just shows that, our people in the planning board just respect people's rights to do what their property that they will, with certain regulations. And I think they've done a good job, and I think it's a model for other places to look at as far as what our ordinance looks like regarding STRs.
Are you working on how to keep track of the third? I mean, I guess it was put in the application for people who are going to start a short-term rental, right? So if I bought a property in Jackson and I went to you and I wanted to make an STR, I would go get this application, and it would say on the application now that I would have to provide my documentation of my year of rentals
Right.
the following year. But
That's if the application was, there's a date, March of 2020. So if they can prove that they had been renting before 2020, they'd be grandfathered.
Right.
So anything after that.
But what
obviously,
I'm
would
saying
be-
is if I bought a property tomorrow, and I wanted to rent it short term, I would go get this application, and it would tell me that I would need to do this. I'd need to keep my documentation of how many times I rented the property.
And we would request it the following year for the previous year, but it would only be moving forward. You won't have to, so, for example, the ones we were talking about in the last meeting,
Right.
we're not gonna ask for that now for the past. We will be asking for it next year for 2023.
Right, you're asking it for 2023 rentals.
Yes.
Are you, and you're also asking people who already obtained permits before the permit was.
No,
Order,
no, they're-
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
point
go
of
ahead.
order.
You don't want this back and forth.
I
okay?
am here to participate and do the town's business. And this is the public comment section.
Okay.
It's not media interview time in my mind. And when there are questions,
Mhm.
I believe they should be dealt with somewhere other than the public comment section, and here's why. I don't think it serves our town well if we have somebody coming in to ask questions that aren't necessarily on our agenda, that we aren't necessarily taking time before the meeting to prepare for, and I don't think it's really on my list of things to do, especially during the public comment section. I think that it's easy enough for any of us or all of us individually, because we don't do town business outside of meetings, to go ahead and find that time to deal with media concerns, but I don't think that our public meeting is the place. And the public meeting is a meeting that the three of us have together in public.
Mhm.
But that doesn't make it a group participatory event in my eyes, and I respect that, you're the chair and that's your prerogative, but I will say that rules of order are typical and standard and in place for a reason, and I think maybe on the next agenda, on the 23rd too, that would give us all time to think about it and consider it.
Mhm.
I would like to have all of us think about approving a motion that has us operating during meetings under Robert's Rules of Order. It's been done, it was typically done every year when I was here before, and I think it's a great way to keep us on the beam, so to speak. So I would like to throw out that idea for next meeting as well.
All right, I have to ask you a question then, okay? How do you feel we should respond to the reporter's question during a meeting?
I don't think there's a place in our meeting to respond to a question. Our agenda is set,
All right.
and so if there's 156 hours in a week or whatever there is, any reporter's got another 154 hours a week to ask the questions.
Okay.
If I could comment too, I would also like to say that if a reporter were to contact any or all of us, that we are on the same page when we answer, because I think often they contact all of us at different times and then say things in our own words, and we may be saying the same things, but they can be interpreted differently. So if it does get to that point, it should be followed through one channel.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, I'm of a different mind about this, okay? And I really, for most part, I'm probably with you, Bob. But when a reporter is here, I think that it's important that we answer his questions so the public knows what we're doing. That's a good way of doing that also. And if you don't know about the subject, you say no comment. All right, so that's where I'm coming from on that. Okay, but otherwise, I don't want it to be a free-for-all. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes a meeting can maybe get a little out of hand. People asking each other questions like happened last time. But when there's a reporter on hand, I'm sure that at Conway and Ossipee, correct me if I'm wrong, the end of a meeting, whatever it is, there's a time for you to ask questions of the Board of Selectmen while they're sitting there
Right.
in a public setting.
Because that's the official answer of the board,
Right.
otherwise we call you all individually at different
Right.
times.
Right.
It could be
Okay.
very confusing.
Okay, I just asked that question. Okay, so That's the way I feel. So I don't know if we have to make a motion about it. We don't get that many reporters coming here, but I think some of the questions that they ask would be important enough, and that's a way for us, as three of us in one place, to answer if we want to. So,
Well, it's nothing against Damon, but I put a much higher priority in serving
nothing,
town
Damon.
residents than reporters.
yeah. I think you're serving town residents by answering questions of reporters. So, but again, I suppose the disclaimer here is that I spent a lot of years as a news director and a
Right.
reporter. So, but anyway, that's just my orientation. So there's more discussion, I suppose.
I just have one little teeny clarification question.
Well, before that,
No.
we describe in public comments what the public comments are about, and I will read it to you for the record, just so you're aware. Public comments should be short and to the point. Please note that the board will not respond to comments as it is not a question and answer session. No person shall disrupt the proceedings of a meeting.
Right? And I'm not so sure that when we agree that it's disrupting the proceeding, okay? But maybe in the public comment section, maybe we should change this. So it says, in an event that a reporter is here, a reporter is allowed to ask some questions of the Board of Selectmen moving forward.
I would not support that, but if it gets 2 votes, then that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I just heard that done. Okay. All right. So, with that, make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
I
20
approve.
seconds. All those approved. We go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Damon, come on up.